Now, you've been here a whopping 2 days, and I know you've been here in the past couple of months because we've met and we've
Yes.
chatted and had nice conversations. What are your first kind of thoughts about the Monroe public school system and impressions, and what are you feeling after the first couple of days? Is it what you expected? Is it something different, etc.?
Every day is a new surprise. Today I had an opportunity to walk down the halls of Monroe Elementary School, and I happened to be walking by a classroom, and students were in a circle reading, and they were reading to each other, supporting each other. The teacher was walking around coaching the students, and so just little snippets of time when I see excellence in teaching and instruction and what's happening, it only affirms what I thought was happening in the district. So I'm eager to watch, to learn, to have conversations. I've also attended the choral concert at the high school the other night. Just spectacular performance of what was achieved with our educators and our students together. So I think all pleasant surprises. There is a can-do attitude. We've got to be creative because we don't always get things the easy way in terms of how, again, getting back to resources, we've got to be very wise on how we use our resources to achieve our goals and think about that strategically. I think people do that. I have been very impressed with the level of support of the staff from every level of employee, from the custodian that came in to greet me personally, from central office to the administrative team, that I think everyone wants this transition to be successful, and I appreciate so much that positive attitude. So after several days, I will say to you that all good surprises. I'm sure that there will be many more challenges revealed over time, but I think together we can confront those.
If you look at challenges, I mean, not that anybody has an agenda or anything, but people come into positions and they want to do things. If you had one or two things that you think that you'd want to just start to move the process on over the next couple of months before the fall school season starts, what do you think those are?
What do I want to do? I want to support the vision of the Board of Education that our kids are prepared for the 21st century. And what does that mean? That our students are going to have a skill set, competencies that are going to allow them to compete, to go on to colleges, workplace settings, to be successful. And to accomplish that, we, the education team, needs to I talk about being strategic, use data to make decisions, that we're not shooting from the hip, that it's not I think, it's all about what are the real issues, and trends are revealed if you look at data. Where do we really need to put our effort and our resources? Where are our strengths? And if we have a group of teachers who are just doing great things with kids, how do we share that capacity and have them talk about what are the best practices with other teachers? So in the next week or so, I will be actually teaching a 2-day institute on using data to our district administrators. We had an opportunity to be trained elsewhere and to save money for you. I appreciate that. I'm a certified trainer, and when I looked at this, I said, this is something we can do in-house, and hopefully it's a contribution that I can bring to the table. And I just opened it up. So beyond the administrative team, we have our lead teachers, school development team, individuals, and so in the next week, I think we have about 45 people coming together for 2 days, and we will begin to look at what is it that we already have in place, and then what are the skills that we have to move forward. So I don't bring solutions, but I want to bring a process that allows us to have our best practices and improve in a continuous manner. And by getting that entire team on the same page with the same tool set and set of terms, then I think we'll take the first step in that direction.
So that's the continuous improvement. I'm not satisfied. We need to raise the bar a little bit as we move forward.
Absolutely.
Which is something I'm pretty familiar with in my old life. You're moving from a multi-town where Craig had a variety of towns that you went to, and I'm sure you had to know this person or that person in that town. To one town, how's that going to be different for you? Is that going to be easier? Is that going to be harder, or how do you think that's going to work for you?
I think after being in, I also served as principal of Hamden High School and Simsbury High School. So being in a community and being a public figure in the community, I'm very accustomed to. The community in Hartford was larger, as you talk about, so some of the community members I dealt with there would be state legislators, Commissioner of Education, Workforce Development in Hartford. I think those key contacts will only help me leverage my position here to bring maybe other resources, knowledge to the Monroe community. But I think one thing that I missed at CREC is you don't have that same feeling of belonging to a community when you're in a large regional community. And being part of Monroe and saying that, you know, this is the community, I will spend more hours here probably than home, that I work and live my day in and be connected to is very satisfying. So I think I'm returning to an environment I'm comfortable with, and I think the intimacy and being connected, you know, meeting the police chief yesterday, all of us have to work together as a team in this community, and I want to make sure those relationships are very strong and that I reach out as a team member and say we're all in this together.
And I think that's great to know, because we've had that kind of relationship in the past, and it's important to carry it forward. And that's one of the things that I found here in the first 6 months, that you got to get all your team together, and you got to try to work and kind of move in the same direction. And to that point, school superintendent is obviously a big job in town, in any town, and it's a big job in our town. You have the largest budget responsibility. You have the largest staff. You have thousands of kids you have to care for. How do you see other town departments working with the Board of Ed in terms of not only helping the Board of Ed meet their mission, but having the town meet its mission?
As you said, the school system in this town is, I think, really every municipality across the state has the largest portion of the budget and has huge responsibility. But the school system is part of the larger whole, and I think we have to look for the natural connections of how we can work together, whether that's shared resources. I think communication. In the beginning, I understand there has been great communication between the Board of Ed and Town Hall to make sure that that continues, and let's further that in other ways. If we are talking and we are working together, and you know what's happening and we know what's happening in other parts of the town, there's a natural tendency for good minds and good people to work together and say, we can do this. Oh, I didn't know you were doing that, but now that I know you're working in this area. So I think finding common goals and common ways that we can pool resources and be productive for the community at large.
Let me just take you a little bit different route right now. I was watching TV this morning, and West Hartford is going through some wild budget battle. Last year, Monroe went through 6 of them. This year, we were pretty fortunate. We only went through 2. One of the things I've seen that's really important is, how do you get parents energized over the school budget? Because in our town, obviously with the automatic referendum, you have to vote on it. And it's tough asking people to vote their taxes up. What are the kind of things you think you need to focus in on terms of parent advocacy to ensure that you've got people ready, willing, and able to deal with that part of the job that'll come up so quick next April?
I think